Coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in Nebraska. This is Backroad Diaries presented by DJ Bridwell. My name is Casey Cameron. Thanks for tuning in.
Love to get you back home on the back road. We're back for another episode of Backroad Diaries. I'm your host, DJ Bridwell. I'm here today with my good buddy Casey Cameron.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
for
so
having me,
much
man.
for coming,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Casey is I didn't even know this until today, but longest traveler award goes to you by far. So I thought he was just coming from Omaha today.
That's right.
Turns out you moved. You recently moved to Minnesota.
Yeah, so recent news. Yeah, a lot of people probably don't even know because it was just this past summer. We moved from Elkhorn, Nebraska. We were there for 10 years and moved up to Otsego, Minnesota. It's a little town about an hour outside the cities. So it's colder, it's snowier, but I actually was born and raised in Michigan, so it kind of feels like home. But we miss Nebraska big time, man. 10 years here.
We've been here for a couple hours now, and in the midst of talking through things. You've been in a lot of states, man. You're kind of a traveler.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Yep.
I haven't lived in a lot of states, but I'm a traveler. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, music has a tendency to take you all over the place. But I was born and raised outside of Detroit, Michigan, so you hear some of that in my music and everything. And then I lived in California just for a short time, doing a job that I absolutely hated. I was living in a hotel for over a year, just trying to make my way out there. But the best thing that came out of that was that's where I started writing songs, because I had a lot of time on my hands all by myself in a hotel room for a year.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't working. So yeah, that's where I started writing and played drums for people for a long time. But yeah, right around 2010 was when I started writing songs and finally got somebody to start letting me play a little bit.
I guess where's your background? What got you into music as far as that goes? As far as like clear back to in your youth.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you're still young, of course,
Yeah.
right? But
For sure. Yeah, I have a little bit of music in my family. I have an aunt and uncle that have an awesome classic rock band and stuff, and so it's just always something I wanted to do. So the way I started, probably I recommend it. It worked out pretty good. I started playing drums in college. For someone that doesn't understand music theory, I can just beat on things and I can probably figure that out, right? So started doing that, and I played drums in everything from freaking hair metal bands to 90s rock cover bands to eventually a country cover band, and yeah, just was all over the place. But as you've also figured out, it's kind of hard to run your own show if you play drums. Right. Really what happened was I was still playing drums when I met my wife, Allie, who most of you guys know as Callie, Indiana, and we write a lot of songs together now, but we want to start our own thing. And so yeah, initially I started playing drums for her, and she was fronting a band with another guy when we first came to Nebraska. And then that evolved into me playing guitar a little more and a little more and a little more and writing songs. And then yeah, we kind of just went out on our own, and it started with me playing guitar for her, mostly singing. And then yeah, it just kind of evolved from there.
cool how you guys kind of both are able to do those things together, and then also do your own separate things, which is kind of very much what I've got going on too. I mean, being involved in the band and then being able to find something that you guys can both do together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that it definitely helps things along too. I mean, it's not, well, I'm going to be late at the office tonight, or I'm going to be late at the bar tonight, or whatever musicians go through. So
No doubt. Man. Yeah, it helps tremendously. Yeah, and that was probably the first thing that we really bonded over when we first started talking, hanging out. Allie lived in Minnesota and I lived in Detroit, and I came over to visit her. Us guys do, right?
Right.
So,
Sure.
yeah, but one of the first weekends, she's like, "Yeah, I got this thing. You don't have to go if you don't want to." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go. Whatever. What is it?" She's like, "Well, I'm in the worship band at church." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'll go." So we go to church, Lutheran church, and they're outside of Minneapolis, and I go and listen, and she she's like fronting this worship band singing. I'm like, oh, here we go, right?
Yeah.
So I went from like to maybe a little bit more than like her pretty much right away when I found out she was a musician. She was actually pretty good, so it worked out.
Since you guys had taken the time to come out and watch us and stuff like that, we were actually heading out to Colorado the next day, and I was sitting there playing your guys' music videos and stuff like that, and music in general.
Yeah.
On the streaming services. It's just cool, man. And that honestly, it says a lot. I mean, just even in the Nebraska music scene, like
right.
we talked about it on previous episodes and stuff like that. We have such a good group, you know, a good core crew that I mean, even the younger kids that are coming out. Because like for me, you know, when I started late, right? But like even watching these guys up and coming, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to show as much support for everybody as I can. But all in all, about 95% of us to 99% of us could hang out in the same room all night with no drama and just have one hell of a, you know, a Heartland country party.
Oh yeah, so. It's a cool scene. There's no doubt about it. Like I play music all over the place, and there's never been anything like the Nebraska music scene. You know,
weird. And the venues out here compared to all the places, and I'm sure you've experienced the same.
Yeah.
The venues out here, they do so good at taking care of us.
We've had a ton of fun, man. That's why we'll always come back here, man. Like, it was bittersweet moving up to Minnesota. Allie's an attorney now, and her job on that side of the fence took her up there. And
she's an attorney now? That doesn't take a turn overnight.
Yeah, right.
She's put some work into that.
So a proud graduate at University of Nebraska Lincoln Law School, and finished up a couple years ago, and then got through the bar and everything. And her law career took us up there. So I'm not gonna argue though. You know, she's calling the shots, and she lets me go out and play music, and has a great career. So I'm grateful for that. So off we went. So we'll always come back to Nebraska, man. We got venues that are near and dear to us here, and as we are this weekend, playing a couple this weekend. So
yeah, it was cool, and I appreciate you being able to come down and you got to spend a little quality time with our buddy last night. Maybe a little too much quality time with old Bucks from Bucks Bar in Venice.
Yeah, shout out Bucks at Bucks.
That guy will not let you leave sober. It's like it's a unwritten rule at that bar. So
it's like a time warp in there, and I don't know what it was, man. In fact, I was driving over here talking to our other good buddy Dylan Bloom about this, and I was saying the same thing. I'm like, I'm driving, and I don't feel real good right now, but I can talk. And
I guess with that said, I'm gonna let you introduce your first song. We've done a little bit of talking about the original music and doing that kind of stuff, you know, between us and the Nebraska music scene and whatever else.
Yep.
Every once in a while, we gotta do a little cover.
Yeah.
Throw a little something your way, and you got something a little special to throw towards everybody. So
yeah. So you know, we love playing around with different covers when we're out with the band and everything. I'm blessed to be playing with some super talented guys right now, and so one of the things we do is we call them 2-for-1 specials. As everybody knows, both country and classic rock, some songs they just go together. We say like peas and carrots, right? So this first one is a Band of Heathens song, followed quickly with a little Skinner, because everybody loves Skinner. So
all right, this is Hurricane and Simple Man by Casey Cameron. Enjoy. We'll be right back.
30 miles from the Gulf Stream, hear the south wind moan. Bridges getting lower, shrimp boats coming home. The old man down on the corner slowly turns his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle and says what he said. I was born in the rain on the Pontchartrain underneath the Louisiana moon. Mind the strain of a hurricane that come around every June. The high black water, the devil's daughter, she's hot, she's cold, she's a man. Nobody talks, takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. sit beside me, my own song. Listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, there'll be some sunny day. Take your time, don't lift your face. Troubles will come, they will pass. You'll find a woman, you'll find love. Don't get some, there's someone up above. So be a simple kind of man. Oh, be something you let me understand. Baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Get your love for rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. Yeah, you can do this if you try. All that old for you, my son. So be satisfied. Be a simple kind of man. Oh, be somebody you let me understand. Baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, won't you do this for myself if you can?
What's up, guys? Drew Phillips here. You're watching Backroad Diaries, presented by DJ Bridwell.
And we're back. Backroad Diaries. That was my good buddy over here, Casey Cameron, singing Hurricane and Simple Man.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for letting me do that.
So how many states have you played in?
Oh man, that's a good question. Between all of the things we're talking about, between like drumming and then now with Cali and with my deal, I'd say it's got to be in the 12 to 15 range. So we got a few to go, but yeah, pretty much most of like the western half, except for maybe like Idaho, like Washington, but not much on the East Coast yet. Florida.
So obviously we talked about like pretty much everything as far as where you guys have been and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had the opportunity to get a couple songs on the radio, I would assume, over the years, whether it be with the Casey Cameron project or the Cali, Indiana project.
Yeah, for sure. No, we Cali, Indiana started back in 2018, I think. So yeah, we had a couple really good years with that, and she put some really cool singles out. And then recently, really just trying to get this thing started off right with this Casey Cameron thing being a new project. So we did the new EP with Yellow Dog Records in Texas and put that out in May of this past year. And so the title track Average did really well for us. We're super pumped on that. And especially here in Nebraska, man, I just can't stress enough the gratitude that we have in particular for guys like a friend of all of ours, Adam Smith at the
Right.
River.
Right.
A couple radio stations now. He's been lucky to branch off and continue to expand his footprint, but just what he's done for independent artists, and then being able to expand that to being recognized and welcomed by all the way down to T3R, Texas Regional Radio, and be part of that crowd and help show what's going on here in Nebraska.
Yep. Speaking of that, man, I'm gonna let you tell people about your next song coming up.
Yeah, so if it's all right with you guys, we're gonna start getting into some brand new content. So new that we actually just went to Yellow Dog Records again 2 weeks ago and cut for the first time our first full length album. So we put 11 songs to the tape. Probably gonna have 8 or 9 of those make the cut, so we can have a nice A side, B side on a vinyl.
Right.
And but one song that just really kind of stuck out to us from the beginning, especially when we got all the amazing musicians on it that ended up playing on it, was a song called Radio. So it fits pretty well with the conversation we're having right now. And this is potentially the first single and an acoustic version of that song. So
It's an awesome song. So without further ado, this is Radio by Casey Cameron.
right on.
Got some turnpike on the bottom, playing them strings and bow. Little something in a smoker and it's cooking nice and slow. The Sundays were made for laying low. You and me, something on the radio. It starts with a kiss on the corner of her sleepy grin. It's pouring me cups of coffee while she's sleeping in. And as the sun starts peeking and I drop the needle, now the record's spinning me up a Sunday feeling. Got some turnpike on the model and they're playing them strings and bow. Little something in a smoker and it's cooking nice and slow. Sundays were made for laying low. You and me, something on the radio. Something on that radio. It's when she come around the corner in her Sunday dress. She gives me a little smirk like she's about to give me a test. She says, I know you had a big old Saturday night, but you're still walking me to church, gonna get you so right. Got some turnpike on the model and they're playing them strings and bow. A little something in a smoker and it's cooking nice and slow. Yes, Sundays were made for laying low. You and me, something on the radio. Something on that radio. Got some turnpike, Timmy tie, flatland troubadours. Supper's done, cooked, call 'em up, y'all, come on home. It's Sunday, baby, if you know, you know. You and me, something on the radio. Something on that radio.
I'm Lennon James. You're watching Backroad Diaries with DJ Bridwell.
And we're back. That was my boy Casey Cameron singing Radio. Little shout out there.
Yeah, man, that was fun. Cool to just strip these songs down as far as they could possibly go, and
Absolutely.
and introduce some people to some new stuff. So brand new song there. I've never played that song before, so outside of the studio, obviously. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was cool to hear it the first time, and it was ironic because as we come in here and we do several songs, right? And so that was one that obviously struck us when we were kind of just going through it. That
Sure.
Like, hey, that one needs to happen.
Right
So,
on. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. Then hopefully that means we selected the right song potentially for that first single. So.
What do you got big in plans for whether it's music release or big shows? Through the next year, what you're looking to do with your music in the next year? So.
Sure. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, we're still kind of building off that first EP that came out earlier this year, and just put out the last track from that with some video support and things like that. I mentioned, just a couple weeks ago, we were in Wimberley, Texas, at an amazing little recording studio, Yellow Dog Records. It's in the middle of a ranch in Hill Country, Texas, and there's no better place to just sit and be creative and work with an awesome team down there. So that being said, that's the first time turning out a full-length record, and that thing, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe late spring, early summer. We'll let the powers that be work that out and see when we put that out. But if all goes the way that it seems like it's going, you can probably expect to see that first single, probably Radio, here in the next couple of months.
I guess as far as like any big shows planned or anything through the next year, do you have anything that's on the books other than that? That one, that one show that I just found out about.
I just kind of found out about it too because I asked you about it, and here we go. So,
Right.
That's probably the one worth mentioning right now. So, we've never done a show together.
Absolutely
We've been
not.
running around crisscrossing each other across I-80 for long enough now. So, we're gonna sit down at Buck's Bar and Grill March 2nd. The two of us, as well as our good buddies Dylan Bloom and Luke Mills, and we're gonna do something that. I've done only a handful of times in my career, but I don't think even the Bucks crowd gets to see a whole lot, and just do a traditional song swap. And it's just going to be 4 dudes playing their own music, a microphone and a guitar. And maybe we'll see if Joshua Rex wants to come later.
Yeah, there you go.
Over the top if we're feeling that. So, but that's going to be a fun time. Thanks for saying yes, because I literally, just for the audience, I walked in here and said I had this idea, and by the way, you kind of have to do it because Dylan and Luke already said yes, so I put you in a tough spot, but you came through.
No. And I look forward to doing something like that, man. And that's honestly extremely refreshing on my behalf too, to have other songwriters and whatnot just kind of bringing that situation on too. 'Cause everybody needs to hear it. You've got quality material and so forth. So Dylan, of course, I can't wait to get him on the show. By the way, I had Luke on here. I got you now, and we need to get Dylan on here. And
for sure,
he's dodging me.
I'm sure he's looking forward to doing it whenever you guys can get that worked out. And
he's always so damn busy, man.
Aren't we all, man? But you know what? Sometimes you got to figure out what to make time for. So again, thanks for having me.
Like even on Dylan's side of it, man, too. So he's went down and had some recordings that he uses, goes down to Nashville and stuff and does recording and whatnot. And I've got the pleasure of actually being able to kind of hear some of his new material. Like even on road, we went to Deadwood a month ago or a month and a half ago, whatever it was, and like some of his new songs, they're just I'm jealous. Like and that's the cool thing too, is because you're allowed to be jealous as a songwriter.
Right.
It just elevates your game too, but.
That's what it's all about, man. You surround yourself with good people, it makes you better.
Correct. Yeah, speaking of Nashville, why don't you go ahead and introduce your next song, man?
Yeah, so, everybody's got that moment where they decide that they're going to, try and make a go of making their own music. And for me, it was right around 2010, like I mentioned. I was in California, had a lot of free time on my hands, and found myself just writing, and not even something I really planned on. But I started putting some songs together, some of which didn't see the light of day until early this year, like on that first EP. Like they've been sitting on songs for 12 years, So, but at the time, I was lucky enough to find this little club in Huntington Beach, California, and I just stumbled in there one afternoon, and the guy that was behind the bar that ran that place, the reason that he had the open mic nights and the writers rounds and stuff, which is not a normal thing on the Strand in Southern California. It's just not. They got a lot of rock bands and a lot of ticketed shows and stuff like that, but you don't find a lot of those clubs. But Tim was in there, and I introduced myself to him, and it turns out he had like a 40-year career as a session musician in Nashville, working for, you name it, record company, right? He was a pedal steel player, he was a mandolin player, keyboard player, like just an unbelievably talented guy. And so he was really open and welcoming, and that was the first place I played anything that I wrote. So I was sitting on a stool just like this with a guitar and a microphone, and I got hooked, you know, and from that it just kept going. Things snowballed. So you could argue he either helped me out or absolutely screwed me over for the next couple of decades. But yeah, so this song is all about that first time having somebody say it's okay to play your stuff, and then have people say you're on the right track, keep going. Right, so this one's called Man from Tennessee, and it's actually about a dude that was retired on the beach in Southern California. But
come on in, sit right down. Lady, I wanna hear your sound, that's what he told me. Day I got to town. It's not too bad and son if you like. You can try your luck and play a few tonight. I could have to say no, I guess it just felt right. So I put my pail on the front of the stage and picked a few for loose dollars and change, and now I drink a beer with a rowdy crowd. Hooked me in and it changed my life. I started chasing crowds under neon light. Everywhere I look at, you know where to find me. Since I met that man from Tennessee. 15 years we've been making rounds, runaway show. My tooth gets long, but it's all right. Played a million songs, but you strike that chord and you write down words, and you go like hell down a dead end road, and you ain't sure why, but it's all you know. So I put my pail on the front of the stage, picked a few for loose dollars and change, and now I drink a beer with a round crowd. Hooked me in, it changed my life. I started chasing crowds under neon light. Everywhere I look at, you know where to find me. Since I met that man from Tennessee. New day comes with a blinding light, find a buzzing phone and a warm bush light. 'Cause Tennessee's calling, needs a favor tonight. I got this young guitar tonight. He writes some songs, he's brand new to town, but he's got that sound. Could you help him along? So he puts his pail on the front of the stage. Picks a few for loose dollars and change, and he drinks a beer with a rowdy crowd. I watch him hook him in, and it changes his life. It starts chasing crowds in a big spotlight. Everywhere I look at, yeah, there's a long line like me, asking to meet the man from Tennessee. Tennessee,
Howdy y'all, this is Kyle Saylor and you are watching Backroad Diaries with DJ Bridwell.
Welcome back to Backroad Diaries. I'm your host, DJ Bridwell. Once again here with my boy Casey Cameron.
Yes, sir.
That was him singing his song Man from Tennessee, talking about a little help from a guy from Tennessee in California.
That's right. Yeah, it's a complex story, but here it is.
Tell everybody where they can find you. You're new to Facebook.
I know, that's a weird thing to say. I discovered this new social platform called
It's
Facebook.
the Facebook.
Yeah. So, so funny story, I guess. And like, it is what it is. I've just never been like a huge fan of social media. Number one, I'm an intelligence officer in the Army, and so there's like a weird thing with some of that stuff and information getting shared the way that it does, and it's not awesome, but it's a very useful tool. And the funny story behind it is when I started this thing, the Casey Cameron project a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm just doing Instagram, that's it. Instagram seems pretty cool, the conversations are at a minimum, I just put my content out there, yeah, and you know, it is what it is. So Instagram's been great, you know, we got decent followership there, and it just came up like for the 100th time again about a week ago, and I'm gonna work with this new publicist, Alexis, down in Texas for the new record that's coming out, and she's like, Instagram, where's the rest of it? I'm like, there is no rest of it, it's Instagram. She's like, that ain't gonna work, Bubba, so she said, you gotta start it. So yeah, I'm new to Facebook and TikTok, I'm proud to say, there's a brand new following there, and well, not following, I should say, but yeah, so a brand new Facebook user, if that you ever heard that before, but yeah, so.
What really sucks at this point when you join Facebook too is you're gonna have troubles getting people to actually accept your friend request because people know that you exist, right? But when they only have one mutual friend with you, it's gotta be fake. So people are gonna be like texting you, "Hey, you got hacked, bro."
Exactly. Yeah, or they'll be like, "I thought you were never gonna be on Facebook. This can't be you."
Yeah.
No, I'm there. I just want to take care of everybody. Whatever your preferred platform, you can find Casey Cameron there now. Whatever you.
So under those links.
Yeah.
So Casey Cameron Music, Casey Cameron.
Yep, Instagram at Casey Cameron Music, as well as Facebook, YouTube, Casey Cameron Official, I think, something like that. So any variation.
Casey Cameron Official.
Yeah. So, but any variation of that, you'll probably find me, because luckily, I haven't really come across too many Casey Camerons out there floating around.
Well, it's been a pleasure, hanging out with us, or having you hanging out with us today, and being able to talk a little bit about your backstory, where you came from, and Cali, Indiana deal. That's a cool thing. 'Cause I've obviously heard about that a little bit longer. I met you through that.
Yep.
Been an extreme pleasure to get you all the way down from freaking Minnesota.
For sure. Yeah, and that's a funny story too. Probably worth telling real quick. But yeah, that's how I first came across you. Was
Not in Minnesota.
No, but on the radio, I heard a song called "Over When You're Sober."
Yeah.
And I love that song, man. And first of all, credit to you and everybody that was on that song with you. But so we're in Bucks Bar and Grill, because we live like 2 minutes from there when we were down here. And you were sitting on a stool, just you and a guitar playing. And you're just like, same thing we all say, right? Yeah, nobody wants to hear anything,
Right.
Up here and let me know. You're trying to kind of get people engaged and stuff. I walk up and I'll play "Over When You're Sober." You kind of looked at me and you're like my song over, like I kind of did a double take, like while I was asking. I was like, yeah, I know who you are. And so then we got to know each other after that. So
It's weird. I met a couple, actually, I won't say lifelong friends. Obviously, it's only been a couple years ago, but I met a couple people that night that I still keep in contact with still to this day too.
Nice.
So
yeah,
big supporters too, and likewise. Show's not about me, man. It's about you. So go follow Casey Cameron Music on all social platforms. Go check him out. It's under Casey Cameron on Spotify. If you haven't freaking seen the logo through this whole entire video, then I just challenge you to rewind it, get the correct spelling, find him out there, listen to him, man, and hopefully we get to have him back on the show. Once again, brother, we have one more song. You want to introduce that song?
Yeah, real quick. So, again, just a little acoustic version of the title track off the last EP. It's been by far the biggest song for us and helped us out with a lot of things. So, This one's the title track off the EP, Average. The song's called Average. So hope you guys like it.
Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much,
Thanks
Casey.
for having me.
coming out one
Thanks for
more
doing
time.
this awesome studio, and we appreciate you having us out. So,
You bet.
yeah.
See you next time.
Batted about 150, wreck ball. Was 5 foot nothing, kinda chunky and lost in the sauce. I play this guitar, but kinda just okay. The army let me in, but I keep the low pay grade. I'm so at a lot of things except for moving. I'm a no-star taking you out on the town. You treat me like a king, but you wear the crown. Out on my coverage, you know it's true. The squirrel found a nut and baby, you're the proof. I'm about average at most things except for moving. No, I can't count how many times I struck out. You come around and stick my foot in my mouth. Hell, I just try and try again. You're the one game that I had to win. I'm nothing if not persistent or well moving. I'm a no-star taking you out on the town. You treat me like a king, but you wear the crown. Out on my coverage, you know it's true. The squirrel found a nut and baby, you're the proof. I'm about average at most things except for moving. Except for loving you. I'm a no-star taking you out on town. You know you're my queen, honey, you wear the crown. I'm way past my cover.